So I just saw Transformers Rise of the Beast, or as I'm calling it, Transforming Beasts and Where to Find Them. Let's talk about it. Alright guys, so been a little bit since I did an actual movie review, and I'm doing it in a little bit different of a manner today, but hopefully it'll be good. We'll see. So either way, of course, I do want to shout out the Shoky Patreon, where you can help support this channel, the main Shoky Reviews channel, my live stream channel, and of course, the podcast. If you want to do that, you'll have access to out-of-the-box reviews, vlogs, a lot of other things, Patreon exclusive, Zoom calls or meetings, and the like. So, yeah, if you want to do that, by all means, just for like as little as $5 a month or as much as $12 a month for all access. So either way, the shout outs out of the way, let's talk about the newest Bayverse sort of thing. And the reason I say sort of is because as I was proven correct, this does not take place in the main Transformers timeline that the original 5 movies took place in, and then Bumblebee basically was a reboot. They called it a soft reboot. It's a lot less soft now. You know, it's more like a little blue pill reboot now, because the events of this movie, without going into spoilers just yet, clearly set up the fact that the movies in the future can't happen in this timeline in this way. So therefore, I will say to one of my podcast co-hosts, I was right, you were wrong. Time to admit it. Either way, so overall, I will say that I did begrudgingly like this movie. It wasn't terrible, and that's usually a big step up. But Bumblebee was actually a pretty decent little family fun movie. Not a ton of robots going on. Fairly simple plot, give or take. And, you know, just building of a dynamic between human and Autobot, which is usually how these things go. This one is a new origin story for our new hero, Noah. And, yeah. I get to see him and his new robot friend, Mirage, who's definitely not Jazz. Mixed with Hound. Definitely not those things. Even to the point that they mock us. No, that's a spoiler. We'll get back to that. So either way, overall, not terrible, though the police would disagree. And it does push the story forward in an interesting way by building out a universe that we didn't necessarily see before, but also sort of depriving us of a universe we're already familiar with. Because we got Decepticons in the last movie, we didn't get Decepticons in this one. We got Terrorcons. Instead of going with the basic war between Autobots and Decepticons on Earth, which we got a little bit of in Bumblebee. You know, we had like technically 3 Decepticons on Earth fighting one-ish, I say ish, Autobot, with his human allies. I just thought about something that happened in that movie that sort of also happened in this movie. So the funny part is it almost feels like this movie also has some soft reboot qualities to it, because the Bay movies, no matter if he's just producing them or writing them, still have continuity problems, which I'll talk about more in spoilers. Now, if I'm going to give it an overall out of 10 rating, I think I'll give it roughly a 6.5, maybe a 7. Because it definitely wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. And to give you an idea, I would say Bumblebee was probably an 8. The original Transformers movie in the Bayverse, I would say would be close to like an 8.5, 9 on a good day. And Transformers The Last Night is like a 2.5. You know, so that'll give you an idea about where this one kind of falls in the echelon of these movies. I would say top 3, top 4, because I'm going to say that Transformers 2 was probably better. Even with all the problems Transformers 2 had in and of itself, it had less continuity errors than everything after. But in this case, with just some minor continuity weirdness, and then the fact that it just was plagued with the same issues that most of the Michael Bay Transformers movies have, meaning script is fine. I mean, he's just a producer on it. I don't know who wrote it, but script is fine. The human interaction is still literally more than half the movie. Their importance is literally more than half of the importance, and then the conveniences within the movie to get from point A to point B to point Q, probably not the best letter to choose, but either way, the plot conveniences are ridiculous, and then the plot contrivances are usually through the roof. We do get new characters. We get a couple returning Autobots that we sort of saw before. One slightly changed, one extremely changed, in the way of Wheeljack. No idea what they were doing there. No idea. I think they wanted to build this character, but wanted the brand recognition and went with Wheeljack, even though nothing of the character at all screams Wheeljack. So, after that, the actual Maximals were fine, if not massively underdeveloped, like most extra robots are in these movies. Optimus Primal had an interesting quote-unquote backstory, including another leader on their former home world that was also a monkey, and I've already forgotten which one he technically was. Nope, I just recalled. And it was spoiled in the toys. It's Ape Link, which is interesting. So there's that. And then Air Razor plays a pretty good part of the movie. Rhinox is there and shaped like a rhino. And Cheetor is also there, shaped like a cheetah. And that's pretty much it. And then some shooting and fighting and yelling and things happen. I mean, it's kind of, how it goes. And then faceless robot hordes, pretty much. It's kind of, it's like this is where Bumblebee broke the formula, and it was a refreshing thing, whereas this movie, not so much. But it did do some fun things. The visuals, when they were lit well, and I don't know if that's the fault of the movie or the fault of my movie theater, because it seemed like this was fairly well dark. And like I said, I think that could be more theater. I'm thinking about upgrading my theaters, going somewhere better, just to see if movies honestly look better, because this one, I can't see what the hell is going on the screen, because like with the dim lights in the theater, dark scenes on the screen, like some of the opening stuff is at night. Like, it is really hard to see stuff that is kind of blatantly there to be seen, especially if it's a robot. But also the female lead in this human, I should say, because there are female robots. She's okay. She's fine. She's kind of a plot device, or pretty much plot device. She's literally there for exposition and figuring things out that literally no one else can possibly figure out. No one at all could figure it out. And then basically once she comes in, it flies forward very easily because of her. So there's that. And I know it sounds like I'm really dogging the movie after I just gave it a good score, but I did have a good time watching it. It did get me in the feels in one scene, which I cannot believe I actually was getting a little choked up in it, because it was so dumb given what they had already pulled off in this movie. And then if the trailer had not spoiled things, probably would have been some cool stuff in this movie, but they just can't help themselves. So I'm going to leave it there for non-spoilers. If you want to stick around for the rest of this video for a spoiler section, by all means, do so. If you're done with the video, at least hit like, hit the subscribe button if you are new here, and once again, check out Patreon, please. That support there means a lot more than any YouTube paychecks, because at least we can build a community there and, make literally a small but significant amount of money to afford to keep doing these things. So either way, I'll check you guys later. Remember, as always, keep on nerding. I know I haven't said that in a long time.